Good morning. Well, it's Monday morning where I am here in Costa Rica. I'm sending you warm greetings. And I'm a professor from Earth University. My name is Amanda, and I'll be helping to moderate this session. And I really want to welcome you and thank you for your participation. Please feel free to use the chat and interact with us. I'll be monitoring that function, and you can put your questions there, or you could also use the Q&A function. I'll be looking after that as well. And then at the end of the session, the panelists will be answering your questions. If for some reason when we run out of time for those questions, you can go ahead and put your contact information also in the chat, and I'll make sure that the panelists receive your contact information and your questions, and they can answer you directly via email. So I just want to really thank you for joining this session, Coordinating Holistic Social Impact Education, and thank our wonderful panelists for sharing this information with us today. And what I'll do without further ado then is just go ahead and pass the microphone over to the panel. They're going to introduce themselves. And I'll go ahead and shut off my video and microphone, but I'll be again monitoring the chat and the question and answer function. Thank you again, and go ahead, panel.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Gonca, and I'm the Managing Director of Koç University Social Impact Forum. And I can call myself as a boundary spanner between all sectors, like social sector, a private sector, a university, and also public sector. And I am teaching as well at the university. I am a practitioner academician, and I am expert on social impact, social entrepreneurship, and sustainability. Thank you, and I am giving the ground to my colleague, Agata.
Hello, my name is Agata Fortuna, and I'm working at Koç University Social Impact Forum as project and training senior specialist. And what I do is actually like develop and design consultancy trainings and other resources to help social impact actors to manage their impact. And together with Gonca and KUSIF team, I'm co-teaching the courses at the Koç University. And I will pass to Yunus.
Thank you, Agata. Hi, I am Muhammed Yunus Aktaş. You can call me Yunus. I'm a project specialist in KUSIF, in Koç University Social Impact Forum. And I'm also responsible for Social Impact Lab. I'm a project specialist at day, but at night I am a podcaster. I am creating content for social entrepreneurs, but unfortunately it's Turkish, so hopefully in the future I will create English as well. So let's start. Here is our roadmap. First, we are going to introduce KUSIF and what we are doing, and then we will continue with our main topic, the social impact course and its components. And then at the last part, we will have some questions, hopefully if we have time at the last part. So let's continue in order to save time. So Koç University Social Impact Forum is very long. As you can see, we call it KUSIF. It's a lot easier and I think more. So two main impact goals. One of them is increasing the interest and participation of Koç University community in social impact activities. For example, we are building and increasing the capacity of different stakeholders inside the university, such as students, academicians, research centers, and etc. On the other hand, we have another impact goal, which is increasing the positive social impact of social impact actors. What do we mean by social impact actors? Like private sector organizations, companies, I mean, NGOs, public institutions, social enterprises, of course. And we are going to get into a little bit deeper on the following slides. We have four main focuses. Well, first, we have started with social impact, obviously, as you can see from our name. And then we have continued to work on social entrepreneurship, social innovation, and sustainability. We will give some examples on what are we doing in these topics, but right now I want to continue. Well, our work methodology is like this. We are using resources to create knowledge, and then we are using that knowledge and putting into the practice. So it's a circular methodology, we can say, because we are also gaining knowledge from our practices. So it's a very circular process. We are always into these three areas of work. And also our impact has three different levels. Those are academic courses, out-of-class activities, and also social contributions to the society, of course. Academic courses, as we are going to talk about more comprehensively on the following sessions. One of them is the social impact course, and the other one is social entrepreneurship course. And also, we have designed an academic program, track program, called Sustainability and Impact Management Program. And we are also going to talk about a little bit deeper at the end of our session. Well, next one is out-of-class activities. You can assume that out-of-class activities are a little or a minor part of our workload, but it is not. Actually, right now, nowadays, it is a major part of our workload, and we are giving social impact trainings to different stakeholders, as I mentioned before. Of course, since the beginning of pandemic, we are giving these trainings online, but before, and hopefully in the future, we will give it face-to-face. Also, we have a social impact lab, which I'm also the director of it. And it is an incubation program mainly, but on the other hand, it has a Zebra program, which aims to build capacities or increase their knowledge on social entrepreneurship and social impact for students. And it's an how can I say? It's mainly a student program. The last one is social contribution. What do we mean by that? Our main social contribution to the society is our resources, our publications. And our publications are about, of course, social impact and social entrepreneurship, mainly, the majority of them. And the majority of them are also in English and Turkish, but Maximize Your Impact guide is also on other languages, which we'll be mentioning in the following sections. And you can access to these publications on the QR code, which we'll give on the following slides. And last but our memberships and partners, these are our main stakeholders who are we are members or partners. I think one of them is more worth mentioning because we have written the establishing project of it, and it is Turkey Social Entrepreneurship Network. And you can also access to its baseline report, where you can read and gain knowledge about the ecosystem of social entrepreneurship in Turkey. you can use this QR code in order to access that baseline report. Also, these other stakeholders are, of course, important, but this one we have established. So I'm going to pass the mic to Gonca.
Thank you, Yunus. Thank you for summarizing KUSIF. We have been working with social impact actors for almost 10 years in Turkey. We do a lot of things outside of the university, but we have a very immense world as well within the university, as we are a university center, practice and resource center, knowledge center. So today we summarize a little bit what we are doing within the university, and this specific course, social impact course, is designed by a KUSIF team to share our practice experience with the students. Social impact course is based on experiential learning, learning by doing, we mean. With the course, we are partnering with every semester for each course with 8 organizations, depending on our number of students. And in average, we have in the class 35 to 45 students. Students work as a group. They choose based on their knowledge, interest, the organizations that they would like to learn. So in each group, we have like 5 students, 6 students. With the organizations, we match the student groups, and at the whole semester, they work together, the organization and the group. Within the class, we do 3 moderated roundtables, roundtable meetings in the class with organizations and student groups. And students do many stakeholder interviews outside of the class. And at the end of the class, we organize a social impact project bazaar, open to everybody, open to all Koç University community, and also the network of the organizations that we work with. And the students develop posters for the bazaar, social impact bazaar. And it's a great organization at the end of the semester. And within the student groups, it's a selected course, so we have all different major students that we encourage very much. So for diversity. Next slide, please. The main question that the students is trying to answer within the class is how this organization or the project that they are bringing into the class could be more impactful, could create more positive social impact. In that regard, we take the city as Istanbul city and also its social impact ecosystem actors in the city as urban lab, and they bring their problems, their projects in the class, and with the students by using SDG frameworks and maximize your impact guide that we developed as KUSIF and international partners. We try to answer how this project or the organization could be more impactful and create more positive social impact. This is the main topic of the class. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, we work with different stakeholders. We are delivering this course. We have been delivering this course for the last 5 years, and each session, each semester, we work with 8 organizations. It means almost we have been partnered with 40 plus organizations within the class, and based on the we group as we try to choose each semester different teams and different kind of stakeholders, so the students can experience small organizations, working with small organizations, working with social enterprises, with private sector CSR project, or a non-profit organization, or international organizations located in Istanbul, such as UNDP, or governmental organizations such as local authority, for instance, our district authority. So we try to differentiate these stakeholders, and it's a two-stream responsibility, and we are responsible to our students, and we are also responsible to the stakeholders. Stakeholders bring their knowledge and network into the class, and students learn by doing, and also we as co-teachers and KUSIF team as moderator, we provide that, with our knowledge and student work, pro bono consultancy to the stakeholders, and stakeholders share with us their knowledge, and students work with real life problems, not the fictive problems, so they can experience the city and the problems. Next slide. So I give the ground to my colleague Agata to tell you more about what we mean with experiential learning, and what methodologies and processes, frameworks we use. Thank you.
Thank you, Gonca. I want to talk a little bit about actually the approach that we have, and I have a background in youth work, and actually I'm also trainer, and actually I try to when designing this course, together with KUSIF team, we try to include this practical approach and experiential learning. So based on kind of cycle that we learn the tool, we apply, and then we reflect on it. And this is something that I think we put a lot of emphasis on. We try to encourage our students, as Gonca explained, in this real setting, and dealing with the real organization and with real problems. We try to boost their critical thinking, and we try to contribute to developing their analytical skills, researching the topics, and also developing the recommendations. So kind of a very practical approach. And as Gonca said, we encourage students by saying that they actually with our support delivering the consultancy to the organizations. And we do it by using the tools that KUSIF also uses in its activities outside university. So as we deliver social impact management consultancy to various organizations, we use the same approach and the same methodology when working with students, and when moderating the students working with the organization. So it means that right now, like the visual that you can see on your screens, it's actually the visual that we developed together in partnership with organizations working on social impact management. And this is something that we try to share with our students and apply with our students. So this three level of impact thinking, like based on some social value principles, which are the social value principles promoted by Social Value International. And we consider this thinking about impact as equal part of the management process in each organizations, like the management equal to like management of the team, so management of HR, management of finance, management of communication, of operations. So for the organization that are actually aiming to create positive social impact, this process should be the equally important with this other management areas. In this process, we in the class, in the setting of the class, we can more focus on the first stage of this process, so more on design process, like understanding the change, forecasting the change, and designing solution. So far, we did not have. I mean, and I think it's not very possible in the setting of the class to really apply it. But we definitely create a framework for the organizations to apply what we developed during the courses. Can we pass to the next slide, Yunus? And in this process, we familiarize with them questions, and not only students, but also organizations. And it creates a kind of framework for them on how they can think about the impact they create and how to understand what's happening as a result of their activities, projects, services, and products, and how to actually prioritize different changes they create, how to measure, how to plan the measurement, how to create the framework on what kind of data we need in order to understand the impact. So in the course, we go through this 10 impact questions, and it's actually one of the assignments that the students are trying to use the tools and collect the data in order to plan answering for this 10 impact questions. And in the next slide, you can see actually the maximizing impact four-stage process. So in the stage one that we actually focus on during the course, we do the planning for the impact. Yes, so we start like from understanding the question, understanding the social problem that organization is dealing with. Then we develop the theory of change. So we try to envision like the changes that organizations are. Can we go back to the previous slide?
Sorry.
That organizations is trying to achieve. In this process, we also engage with stakeholders, like we put emphasis on actually involvement of stakeholders' involvement in the process, as this is also one of the social value principles. So we students actually go into the field and collect the insights and inputs and try to understand the outcome of the activities in the eye of stakeholders. And the last stage of it is actually developing the indicators and plan for measuring the impact. So during the course, we actually complete this first stage of planning, and we present organizations with reports on actually that part. Can we go to the next slide, Yunus? And among those tools that we use are problem tree, there is solution tree, there is stakeholder mapping tool, and there is theory of change. So all of those tools that we use, like, we do not invent the wheel. We just bring those tools together, and we use them within this approach and methodology. So we can go to the next slide. So this is problem tree, objective tree. Then I think it will be the stakeholder mapping. So these are all the tools that students develop with their organizations, and while collecting the information from the field, from their own research and from their organizations. And I think, like, especially the theory of change is very important both for our students and for the organizations, because some of them are developing their theory of change for the project or for the organization for the first time. So it's kind of, you know, trying to benefit, like, the two sides during this course. And I think this learning part is also very effective and impactful for the organizations as well. And the next slide, I think we will be talking more about, like, connecting knowledge and practice. And I think this is actually, like, the core, and we've been mentioning this connecting knowledge and practice, and saying that actually as KUSIF we use the same approach in the class and in our consultancy, and at the same time we actually try to reach out with this approach to other stakeholders, not only in Turkey but also in other countries. And as I said, like, this approach that we develop, like, maximize your impact, like, we develop it with a focus for social entrepreneurs, but we developed this approach with Social Value International, Estonian Social Entrepreneurship Enterprise Network, and KUSIF within one European Union project. And since then, like, this tool and approach, and in particular Maximize the Impact Guide, has been widely used outside of this Estonia, Turkey, and UK. And it has been already translated into Mandarin, Ukrainian, is being translated into Vietnamese, and I'm aware also of the attempt of translating into Arabic. So this approach that we kind of use is combining this experience that we had, like, in developing this kind of source, and this methodology that we use actually combines what we learned from the field when doing our consultancy as well. And I think right now we will pass to the next. So I will give the floor to Yunus.
Well, thank you, Agatha. On this part of our presentation, we will get a little bit emotional because I am the human product of this social impact course as myself. I took this class, I guess, 4 years ago, and since then, I'm a fanboy of this ecosystem. I cannot imagine working on another industry or sector. So I will give two examples, just like myself, who have graduated from our university and took this course. And those are Büşra and Can. Büşra is a marketing communications assistant at Mazar Stenge, which is a sustainability consultancy firm as a part of their work, but also they are consulting on financial stuff which I'm not interested at all. And she said that this course is informative and inclusive because if you want to be a part of a sustainable solution to a social problem and challenges, you will learn how to approach the problem on different perspectives. And she also mentioned that theoretical subjects are supported by real practices of stakeholders, which we have mentioned before in our presentation. On the other hand, Canalp is a sustainability consultant at S360, which is also a sustainability consultancy firm. And as you can see, he wanted to write a book about this course, but I stopped him, and he only wrote this part. And he said that those lectures introduced me to the concepts and applications I now use in my work. I have learned about how one measures their impact, how can one both make money and heal the environment and the society as well. How can we explain positive impact so that everybody can understand? I think this really summarizes very well the impact of the course. And also he said that now I use all of it daily because, as you can guess, he's consulting to different types of stakeholders, but majority of them are companies, and he has to use impact-oriented thinking while he's creating his work. So at the last part, we will talk about how are we making students internalize sustainable development goals. And we have designed an academic track program, which is called Sustainability and Impact Management Program. In this presentation, we have talked about NGMT 310, which is the social impact course. But on the other hand, there is a social entrepreneurship course at the core of this track program. After you took these two courses, you will follow with a lot of different types of courses as well from different departments and different disciplines. And these are the ones who you have to take in order to complete the track program. This is the pool, I mean, you have to choose 5 of them, I guess. And at the last of this track program, we hope that you will internalize sustainability or SDGs, because you can see how is the society and the world doing on different perspectives, on different areas of work. And so you can apply impact-oriented thinking into different areas of work. If you are going to be, I don't know, a media worker, you can take this course. If you are going to be a lawyer, you can take these courses as well. So the department or the area of work doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, I think, in my opinion, thinking through the lenses of social impact and sustainability through our track program. So, thank you very much. I want to pass the ground to Amanda. If you have any questions or feedbacks or suggestions, feel free to connect us.
Thank you so much for your presentation, panel. I think we're seeing throughout this UGC gathering the importance of networking and collaborations, and really translating these SDGs into action, right? And I wanted to open up the floor to any questions that we have. We have one question in the chat that says, is there any document with this methodology or an article from Tatiana? And I just wanted to give you a minute to explain how we could access maybe the social impact guide or other kinds of resources to follow this methodology, because I think we're all really, really interested in how we could maybe even think about developing these kinds of courses or things like that at our particular institutions. So if you could answer that question, and then I have someone in the queue to see if they have a question.
I already shared like the link to the Maximize the Impact guide. Like that's actually like our core material for the course, the one that is being translated actually into some other languages. So also on our KUSIF website you can find some other materials like on social impacts. Most of them are in Turkish, because still this is our main goal, to bring this know-how to Turkish ecosystem, but there are some also in English with this particular guide and some other documents on impact thinking approach.
Great. I had one person in the queue, Sithabli. Do you have a question? Don't know if you were able to activate your microphone or camera. I saw her there. I don't know where they are now. And I just wanted to encourage anyone else, if you have any questions, to please let us know, or if you'd like to activate your microphone or camera to go ahead and make that request. I do have one question. That's also one of these perks of being the moderator. I'm really interested in the part about indicators, how you're measuring that, and it's part of the course, part of the design, and working with the theory of change, and then developing these indicators. So I don't know if maybe you could talk with us a little bit. I think all of us who are working in projects and in different topics, right? That's one of our biggest challenges, because measuring the before and after is something we're always interested in, but it's not an easy task at all. So maybe you could talk to us a little bit about that with some examples.
Yeah.
Would you like to answer, Agata?
Yeah, I can.
Your favorite question.
My favorite questions, yes. Like, I mean, this is actually also the part of the course that we struggle the most, because I think it's not only difficult for the practitioners and like social impact experts like in the field, and I think the most important step before actually even talking about indicators is understanding the change, and actually explaining and expressing like what kind of changes we are measuring. And I think being clear about it and defining the change in a way that we can find like good indicators to measure. I think this is the first stage. So if we have done it right, like if we define the change, this outcome in a way that it's clear enough, like then actually discussion about the indicators becoming like more and more feasible to do. And I think in our courses students work on defining the indicators and to define this, to link these indicators with the change that they want to measure, but they don't test it. So this is actually something that I would love to do. And we don't know whether we do not trace whether the organization tested as well, but I think this is like a kind of really comprehensive report and suggestions that the students provide, but this is something like the most abstract and the most advanced part of the course. And I think it's very normal, because this is something that we struggle the most as a consultant. Because I mean, as when delivering consultancy on social impact, I mean, this is a discussion that sometimes takes quite a lot of time. So we entered this part in our course, and I think we help to make it more concrete for the students. But I won't lie that it's easy there. We struggle a lot with that part, especially that it really sometimes requires the knowledge of the topic. So there is an important role of the organization actually also when defining the indicators, and these discussions about, like, you know, how to measure, because students develop the indicators and they suggest the indicators, but another thing is to what extent these indicators can be applicable in certain settings. So
Agata, sorry for interrupting, but there are some comments and questions, so we can answer. Chuck is asking about more information and whether we are able to support other universities to develop curriculum. Of course, we would love to share our experience and our developed curriculum with others. And, you know, try to, I mean, it's, as a university, as Koç University, we have some own resources, own capacity. So we apply this course in that regard. So depending on your university capacity, teaching capacity, you can, you know, revise the curriculum, but the whole idea is the same, bringing knowledge to the class, and vice versa. So the framework is the same, but based on your capacity could be applied differently. For instance, the first years of KUSIF, we worked only locally within our district. Students. We collaborated only with the local authority. So the local authority facilitated our work and give us the problem thematic areas that students can work. But now we work as Istanbul, as the bigger city, and with all social impact actors. You can apply it globally as well. We can work with, you know, international organizations and others, bringing their knowledge and problems to the class. But be careful that it takes a lot of energy and coordination. It's not easy to manage experiential learning and practice classes, because we are not teaching, we are moderating, we are, you know, doing consultancy, and there are many stakeholders. It's not easy to manage 8 stakeholders in a semester and also engage rightly with the students. So we would love to share our experience and support you in your journey. Thank you.
There is a question: how can we introduce some of this in K-12? I think, you know, I think it's possible. I mean, like this methodology. I mean, like you can apply it with the different level of rigor. I mean, like, and we apply different level of rigor when we work with organization we consult, and we apply different level of rigor also in the class. And I think if you apply like and if you choose like the topics that are more closer to, you know, like students, especially I think in high school education. I mean, like this already could be used, like this approach, because we kind of guide through the problem understanding and like developing, like envisioning the change, like developing the strategy. So I think in the general shape it could be used like in the K-12.
Yeah, the rigor is different, but we applied also to high school. Remember, Agata, a couple of years ago, we have high school summer school within the university. So for 3 months, we worked with high school students. The same concept, but the rigor is less rigorous, and we make it easier that they understand in their daily life. Thank you. So I think our time is over, Amanda.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone, for your participation and for these wonderful questions. I think it's also a theme that we're seeing come out at the gathering. How can we start working with students even at younger and younger ages to think about systemic thinking with the SDGs and theories of change and social impact? So thank you, panelists, for this wonderful presentation. And we're really excited to get more information and be in contact with you about this course and your methodology. And thank everyone for participating, and I encourage you all to move on to the next session, block of sessions, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you,
Take care,
Amanda,
everyone.
for your moderation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Wonderful work. Thanks.